Most of your conversions, they do happen on your homepage hero section. Data shows that increasing your conversion rate by 1% can actually bring an additional $30K in monthly recurring revenue. Now, if you do have a SaaS business and you're struggling with the user sign-up rate, then in this video, I'm gonna teach you the 3 most important elements on your homepage hero section that will make or break your sign-up rate. Now, I'm not gonna keep these elements as a secret. We're gonna talk about your headline, your product demo video, and finally, your call to action. Now, make sure you do stick around because we're gonna take an existing product, we're gonna go in Figma and redesign the hero section. Now, before we're gonna dive into the very first element, which is your headline, let's actually talk how increasing your conversions will impact your revenue. So let's say right now you're getting about 10,000 visits per month. Right? From these 10,000 visits, let's say your conversion rate, your sign-up rate is at 1%. That means that you're getting about 100 new users per month. Now, we're not gonna count free users, we're gonna count users that actually add their credit card on file and they do pick a plan. And let's also say that your plan, it's about $100. Well, that would mean that you're gonna be getting about $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue. Good. Now let's take the same scenario, but this time with a little twist. So it's the same 10K per month in visits, but this time it's going to be at 3% conversion rate. Now we're going to get 300 paying users per month, and that would result in about $30,000 in monthly recurring revenue. And that is how you know that increasing your revenue by 2% will actually bring you an additional 20K, 30K, or wherever your numbers are. Now let's discuss about the very first element, which is your headline. Now the reason why most of the SaaS companies fail to convert is because their main headline looks more like a motivational quote rather than a strong offer. Because it's the offer that will actually close someone. It's the offer that will make your traffic sign up and become a paying users. So think about this. When you go online and you search for something, you want to buy something, whether it's a new phone or whether it's maybe a nice clothing, there's always an offer attached to that specific product. So why then SaaS companies fail to create strong offers? Well, that happens for one simple reason, and that is market research. This stuff, it's boring as shit, right? No one loves to spend weeks and maybe months doing the market research, but it's actually the market research which will help you understand who your target audience is. So the easiest way to do a market research is just go online, right? Go online, open up different Facebook groups, YouTube comments, Quora, Reddit, G2 Marketplace, right? And what it will do there is you'll try to find different emotions. What's your market desires? What's their pain points? What's their challenges, their objections, the language they're using. So let's actually see what it takes to create a powerful headline. So ideally, the headline needs to have 3 important aspects. Number 1, it needs to be unique. Number 2, it needs to be predictable. And finally, of course, it needs to be rational, right? And I'm going to explain rational. I'm going to explain all of these in details. So unique, it means there's no other product or competition that uses the same offer that you're using. Predictable, it means to use numbers. Numbers makes your offer sounds logical. And the final one is rational, and it just means to make your offer meaningful. It needs to be easy to understand, and it needs to be specific. You can just put a vague statement on a website waiting for people to understand what exactly you meant. So rational, it's an important aspect of your headline. Now, when it comes to the formula, so all of those components that goes into a headline, the very first one is the desired outcome. Now, what exactly means the desired outcome? It basically means the number 1 reason why you created your SaaS product. What specific problem you try to solve in a specific industry or niche. So what people actually want. And that's the reason why I said that you need to do the market research. Spend at least 2 to 5 weeks deeply understanding what they want, what kind of pains they have, and what would be their objections. Now, the second component is going to be the level of effort. Now, this basically means how easy it is to get started with you. So think about this. When someone wants to get started with a piece of software, the very first thing that you're gonna think is, okay, how much time is gonna take me to have my account fully set up? How fast can I achieve the specific outcome I'm looking for, right? So it's important that your main headline do include the level of effort. And the very final component, which by the way is my favorite, that is having a power guarantee. Now, this very last component is the most important of them all because it's gonna handle the biggest objection, which is the pricing objection. You do have a piece of software, people will have to buy a specific plan from you, they have to add the credit card information. They wanna make sure that if they buy your product, they can achieve the specific desired outcome they're looking for. Now, let's take every one of these in detail so I can provide some examples. The answer to the desired outcome is basically that number one reason why you created your product. So let's say you are a CRM. Maybe you wanted to allow people automating their business processes, or maybe have a place where they can store their lead information, or maybe your CRM has like a website form widget, so it's easier to capture the lead information. Doesn't matter what kind of problem you try to solve, but that is basically what the market desires the most. Now, the next one is the level of effort. And let's say as a CRM, it takes about 3 steps to get started. And finally, when it comes to the power guarantee, just attach your pricing. Fun fact, by the way, if you do have Google Analytics on your website, you probably notice it that the very second page that people visiting after the homepage is going to be a pricing. And on top of that, if you have, let's say like Hotjar or any website behavior tool, you will notice that people open up your pricing, but then they quit your pricing page, and in a couple of seconds, they go back. That happens because people, they do open up your competitor pricing too in their browser, and they're just testing. They're comparing your pricing against the competition pricing. So that is really important to have your pricing stated in your main headline. If it's free, tell them that it's free, no credit card required. If it's based on a pay-per-go plan, let them know that it's pay-per-go. Doesn't matter what is your pricing model, but you need to state this clearly in your main headline. So now let me ask you this. Let's say you're looking for an online video editing tool. Would you pick someone that says anyone can make great videos, or someone that would say cut the editing video time in half, pay only when you want to download the video? So I do hope the answer is obvious here. The very next element is having a product demo video. It doesn't have to be professional. It can literally be a Loom recording, 10 minutes, showing different aspects of your product. Now, in these 10 minutes, you must answer 3 main questions. Number 1, how to get started. Number 2, how it will help me. And the very final one is, what should I do next? So let's break down every single question. We're gonna start with the very first one, how to get started. So here, just explain what your sign up process looks like and what they'll have to do next once they do create their account. Now, for the second question, this is where you'll have to think up to 6 main challenges that your market is facing. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna break down this second question into 6 parts. Every single part will show how your product addresses one of these 6 challenges. So I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say you are a CRM. One of the challenge is they want to automate their business. Good. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna show your workflow or automations inside the product. Now, if you did your market research, coming up with these 6 challenges should be easy. If not, just look over your user feedback. Now, here's one more secret with these 6 challenges, the 6 parts that you're gonna make. You can use them in your cold email outreach. Those people that you reach out via the email, they're gonna have the same challenges. And if you can use a 1-minute demo video showing how your product tackle on a specific challenge, that will heavily increase your outreach efforts, because not so many do take time to create these personalized emails and send it out to their prospects. Now, the last question is, what should I do next? And this is where you just have to tell them what is the next action they need to take. Super simple. It's a final call to action from the video. Now, again, for the product demo video, you don't have to hire professionals. Just go on Loom, create an account, and screen record all of these 3 questions. Now, the final component is your CTA. Your call to action must be specific and handle any objection that might appear depending on the text that you put inside your call to action. For example, if you say get started, one of the objections that people might have is how easy is to get started. So what you want to do is you want to change the text to get started in 3 easy steps. Now I'm inside my Figma and I wanted to share with you 3 different CTA versions. Now the very first one, it's a simple CTA, something you see traditionally. It's 2 buttons, one primary action, and the second button is a secondary action. And then below, ideally what you want to have is some objection handlers. Now, these will basically be those things that kills your sales or kills your sign-up rate. It can be related to the credit card information. It can also be related to how many steps it takes to get started with you. But you always want to have some objection handlers below your main call to action buttons. Now, a lot of time you might not know exactly what should be the primary action or what should be the secondary action. Just think about this. Your primary action should be for users to sign up. And the secondary action, usually it's scheduling a demo call or moving someone down the information funnel, i.e. redirecting people to your product overview page, your feature pages, or any landing page that do provide more information about your product so your website can close better. Now, the second call to action, I call it which option close, and that is because you do provide multiple options for people to select and then having a button that says get started for free. A really good example of such call to action, it's on v.io website. I'm gonna put it right here on the screen so you can see how it's working. It is a little bit difficult to implement because you're gonna have to work with your developers to make a widget for the website that integrates with your product, most probably through API. But by integrating this kind of interactive call to action, you're gonna see your conversion spikes. Reason being that it's from commodity. It's super easy for people to get started. You present them different options, they pick one option, and then they click on get started. Now, the very last one is having an interactive call to action. And this is where people can basically drag and drop files into your website, into this widget right here, so they can easily get started. If you have a CRM, people can drag and drop a CSV file with their lead information. If you have a photo editing app, same story, people can drag and drop images into your website. If you have a tool for developers, they can paste their line of codes right here or just directly connect to their online repository. Now, the most powerful call to action that you can ever have on your website, it's a product-led call to action. So it's basically a widget that allows people to use your app without creating an account. And a really good example is how Vid made for their screen recorder. So they basically allows you to record your screen, edit the recording, and once you're ready to download, you'll obviously have to create an account and also add your credit card information. The reason why this works is the reciprocity rule, one of the 6 of CLDN's weapons of influence. And the second reason why you want people to use your product for free, that is because they're gonna bring their stuff into your product. And a good example is Google Drive. You do upload all of the files there, and when you hit the limit, you just have to upgrade your plan. Now, if you do remember, I said that if you're gonna stick till the end, we're gonna take these 3 elements, the headline, the product demo video, and the call to action, and we're gonna apply it on an existing website. So for this one, I chose ActiveCampaign. They are a CRM. They do marketing automation, sales, e-commerce stuff. So I'm gonna start with deleting these elements from the bottom. I don't need this element. And now we do have our headline. This is so vague and vanilla. Let's make it better. So I decided to go with spend minutes, not hours, managing your customers. Because this is basically what people want. They want to spend less time managing their business. But again, we have to be specific here. So instead of saying spend less time, we say spend less minutes. And again, we can tell them to grow their business or to manage their business, but what kind of aspect? Manage my customers, manage my business processes, my funnels. So there's so many variables when we say manage a business. So we want to be specific here. That's why we're going to go with spend minutes, not hours, managing your customers. Let's make this bigger a little bit. Good. So the next thing that I want to change is, of course, adding my power guarantee. So I'm going to go with ActiveCampaign doubles your revenue in 30 days or it's free. Boom, like this. So now I want to make this bigger. Good. And let's make sure this is in one line. We're going to put it like this and we're going to center everything. this one too. And now it says spend minutes, not hours, managing your customers. Active campaign doubles your revenue in 30 days, or it's free. So what exactly we do here? Well, number one, we have what the market wants the most, the desired outcome. Now, the second component was the level of effort. And right here, we tell them spend minutes. And then, of course, the very final one is the power guarantee. And we have it right here at the bottom. So now let's dive into the second element, which is the product demo video. Now, we created our very own kit, which we call Slate. It's basically a collection of different sections we split tested with different businesses spent over 10 million doing so. I'm gonna go to heroes. I'm gonna choose this one. So let's bring this right here. So now we just have to match the colors. We're gonna take this blue from here, the light one, and for this purple, we're just gonna swap it with our dark blue from the navigation right here. The very last thing to do is where it says 2 minutes on the button, we need to go with 10 minutes. So that is it. Of course, right here, we need to put a nice thumbnail. We need to put a product mockup that represents the active campaign dashboard. So people know immediately that this is a software and not some sort of a service. Now, the very last element is, of course, the call to action. So we're gonna grab this simple call to action from here. Doesn't have to be interactive, you know, and we're gonna fit it right here. We're gonna put it below the video because the idea here is people, they need to watch the video first and then take an action. Let me center everything. Good. Let's also change the colors. The current one says get started. It doesn't do a good job at handling the objections and being specific. So I just went with this simple call to action that you use 2 buttons. The very first one says get started in 1 minute, so it's more specific. Plus it tells people how much it's gonna take them to actually set up their account. And the second action says schedule a free 15-minute demo, okay? So even here it's specific. I could go with book a demo, but again, this wouldn't be that specific. So by using the words like free or 15-minute, you immediately tell people how much time this demo call will take and whether it's free or not. And then the final thing, of course, is this objection handlers at the bottom for the credit card, one for the trial, and the very final one, it's basically reinforcing the power guarantee, saying no commitments or hidden fees. And the reason why I went with these is because there's so many CRMs that basically have add-ons and they extra charge you based on the amount of leads and contacts you have in the system. Final thing is to flick my fingers and fix this layout a little bit. Just like this. We changed the main headline right here, made it a little bit bigger, slightly different color. Then we also bring this a little bit to the center of the section. So now it's way more organized. We have the before version, which is this one on the left. And we have the new version using this 3 elements. The headline that we have here, the product demo video that we have right here, and the final one is the call to action. Now, I do hope that today's video was informative for you. If you're gonna have any questions to me, don't be shy to use the comment section below. If you wanna stay in touch with the new uploads on this channel, just subscribe. Chat soon.